The lights inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse were electric on March 25, 2026, as the Los Angeles Lakers faced off against the Indiana Pacers in a game that felt like it had playoff energy written all over it. From the opening tip, you could sense that this wasn't going to be just another regular season matchup. Both teams came in with something to prove. The Lakers were pushing to solidify their standing in a crowded Western Conference, while the Pacers were determined to defend their home court and continue building momentum in the East. What followed was a fast-paced, high-intensity battle filled with highlight plays, momentum swings, and star performances that kept fans on the edge of their seats from start to finish. The game began with Indiana setting the tone early. The Pacers came out aggressive, pushing the pace and attacking the rim with confidence. Tyrese Halliburton, as expected, was the engine of the offense. He orchestrated plays with precision, threading passes through tight windows and finding open teammates on the perimeter. Within the first few minutes, Indiana had already knocked down multiple three-pointers, forcing the Lakers' defense to stretch and adjust. Miles Turner made his presence felt in the paint, altering shots and grabbing early rebounds, while also stepping out to hit a mid-range jumper that energized the crowd. The Lakers, however, weren't going to back down. LeBron James looked locked in from the very first possession. Despite being deep into his career, he showed no signs of slowing down, attacking the basket with authority and finishing through contact. Anthony Davis complemented him perfectly, dominating the interior with his length and athleticism. Davis scored back-to-back buckets early in the quarter, including a powerful dunk that silenced the home crowd momentarily. The Lakers began to settle into their rhythm, moving the ball more effectively and finding better shot opportunities. As the first quarter progressed, both teams traded baskets in a back-and-forth fashion. Indiana's perimeter shooting continued to be a key factor, with Buddy Hield knocking down a pair of deep threes that brought the crowd to its feet. The Lakers responded by tightening their defense slightly and slowing the tempo just enough to get quality looks. Austin Reaves contributed with a couple of timely shots, including a smooth pull-up jumper and a driving layup that showcased his growing confidence. By the end of the first quarter, the Pacers held a slight edge, leading by a few points, but it was clear that this game was far from decided. The second quarter saw the benches come into play, and this is where things got even more interesting. Indiana's second unit brought a burst of energy, with quick ball movement and aggressive defense leading to a short scoring run. Obi Toppin delivered a highlight moment with a thunderous fast-break dunk that ignited the arena. The Pacers briefly extended their lead into double digits, putting pressure on the Lakers to respond. The Lakers' bench, however, stepped up in a big way. D'Angelo Russell, coming off the bench in this matchup, provided an immediate scoring spark. He knocked down a couple of tough three-pointers and facilitated the offense with poise. Rui Hachimura also made a strong impact, using his size and skill to score in the mid-range and on cuts to the basket. The Lakers began chipping away at the deficit, slowly but surely closing the gap. LeBron returned to the floor midway through the second quarter and immediately made his presence felt. He controlled the tempo, picking apart Indiana's defense with his vision and basketball IQ. One sequence stood out in particular, where LeBron drove into the lane, drew multiple defenders, and kicked the ball out to a wide-open shooter for a three-pointer. Moments later, he followed it up with a coast-to-coast layup that tied the game and shifted the momentum in favor of Los Angeles. Anthony Davis continued to dominate defensively, recording multiple blocks and altering countless shots. His ability to protect the rim forced Indiana to rely more heavily on outside shooting, which became less consistent as the quarter went on. The Lakers' defense tightened, and their offense became more efficient, allowing them to take a narrow lead heading into halftime. The third quarter began with both teams making adjustments. Indiana focused on getting Halliburton more involved as a scorer, and he responded by attacking the basket and knocking down a couple of mid-range shots. His leadership kept the Pacers within striking distance, even as the Lakers tried to pull away. Miles Turner added a three-pointer from the top of the key, reminding everyone of his versatility as a big man. For the Lakers, LeBron and Davis continued to lead the charge. LeBron's ability to read the game was on full display as he found open teammates and scored when needed. Davis dominated the glass, grabbing offensive rebounds and converting second-chance opportunities. The Lakers began to build a small cushion, thanks in part to their improved defense in transition play. One of the key moments of the third quarter came when Austin Reeves hit a deep three-pointer, followed by a steal and fast-break layup. That quick 5-point swing forced Indiana to call a timeout and regroup. The Lakers' bench erupted, and you could feel the momentum shifting more firmly in their direction. However, the Pacers weren't ready to fold. Buddy Hield responded with a flurry of shots from beyond the arc, hitting 2 consecutive threes that brought Indiana right back into the game. The crowd came alive once again, and the intensity on the court reached another level. Both teams were now fully locked in, trading blows and refusing to give an inch. As the game moved into the fourth quarter, the tension was palpable. Every possession mattered, and every mistake was magnified. The Lakers held a slim lead, but the Pacers were right there, ready to capitalize on any opportunity. LeBron James took control of the game in the early minutes of the fourth, scoring on a tough fadeaway jumper and then assisting on a three-pointer that extended the lead. Indiana responded with resilience. Halliburton orchestrated a beautiful offensive sequence that resulted in an easy basket for Turner, followed by a steal and fast break score that cut the deficit to just a couple of points. The back-and-forth nature of the game kept fans on the edge of their seats, as neither team could create significant separation. With just a few minutes remaining, Anthony Davis delivered one of the biggest plays of the night. He blocked a shot at the rim, grabbed the rebound, and then sprinted down the floor to finish with a powerful dunk. That sequence not only added points to the scoreboard, but also injected a surge of energy into the Lakers. It was a statement play that highlighted Davis's impact on both ends of the floor. LeBron followed up with another clutch moment, hitting a step-back three-pointer that gave the Lakers a bit more breathing room. His composure in high-pressure situations was evident as he continued to make the right decisions and execute at a high level. The Pacers, however, refused to go quietly. In the final minute of the game, Buddy Hield knocked down a crucial three-pointer that brought Indiana within striking distance. The crowd erupted, sensing a potential comeback. On the next possession, the Pacers forced a turnover, giving themselves a chance to tie or take the lead. Halliburton drove into the lane, but his shot was contested heavily by Davis, resulting in a miss. The Lakers secured the rebound and quickly moved the ball up the court. With the clock winding down, LeBron was fouled and sent to the free throw line. Calm and collected, he knocked down both free throws, extending the lead and putting the game just out of reach for Indiana. The Pacers had one final chance, but their last-second attempt fell short, sealing the victory for Los Angeles. As the final buzzer sounded, the Lakers emerged victorious in what was a thrilling and hard-fought contest. LeBron James delivered a masterful performance, leading his team with scoring, playmaking, and leadership. Anthony Davis was equally impressive, dominating defensively and making crucial plays when it mattered most. Together, they proved once again why they remain one of the most formidable duos in the league. For the Pacers, despite the loss, there were plenty of positives to take away. Tyrese Halliburton showcased his brilliance as a floor general, while Buddy Hield's shooting kept the team competitive throughout the game. Miles Turner's presence in the paint and his ability to stretch the floor were also key factors in Indiana's strong performance. What really stood out for Indiana Pacers was their resilience and pace. They pushed the tempo whenever possible, creating open looks in transition and forcing the Los Angeles Lakers to constantly adjust defensively. Even when the Lakers built momentum, Indiana responded with smart ball movement and timely scoring runs, showing a level of maturity and chemistry that could become dangerous as the season progresses. Their ability to generate offense from multiple options makes them far less predictable than in past matchups. Defensively, while there were moments of struggle, the Pacers showed flashes of discipline, especially in protecting the rim and contesting perimeter shots late in possessions. If they can tighten their rotations and maintain consistency on that end, this is a team that can compete with elite opponents on any given night. Performances like this don't just build confidence, they establish identity, and Indiana looks like a squad that's beginning to understand exactly who they are and how they want to play. In the end, this game was a perfect example of what makes basketball so exciting. It had everything: Star power, dramatic momentum shifts, highlight plays, and a nail-biting finish. Both teams left it all on the court, delivering a game that fans won't soon forget. And as the season continues, matchups like this serve as a reminder of just how competitive and unpredictable the NBA can be. What made this matchup even more compelling was how both the Los Angeles Lakers and the Indiana Pacers adjusted on the fly. Every timeout felt like a chess move, with rotations tightening, defensive schemes shifting, and key players stepping into bigger roles. The Lakers leaned into their experience, slowing the tempo when needed and capitalizing on half-court execution, while the Pacers pushed the pace, turning defense into quick offense and keeping constant pressure on transition. That contrast in styles created a rhythm that kept fans locked in from start to finish, never quite sure which side would seize control next. And as the final buzzer echoed through the arena, it wasn't just about who walked away with the win, it was about the statement both the Los Angeles Lakers and the Indiana Pacers made to the rest of the league. Games like this build confidence, expose weaknesses, and fuel rivalries that can define a season. For the fans, it's a reminder of why they keep coming back, for moments of brilliance, heart-stopping tension, and the pure emotion that only basketball can deliver. And if this matchup is any indication, the next time these two teams meet, it won't just be a game, it'll be must-watch basketball all over again.